do devotion. You know, those are some foundation. Some people, they sit together. They have a lot of time just sitting together. They play together. Yeah. So these are ways of bonding, mending. So if any attack from the evil one, from demonic, we're talking about sex, because sex is a topic that we are talking on. Now we are only talking on the surrounding.
Yeah.
Last week when we talk about the HIV, no, few months ago we were published in the newspaper 260% increase of HIV. HIV is, we talk about as a family, this disease can only be transmitted through sex.
Yeah.
So that means 160 there is a lot of fornication. Fornication is having sex before marriage. See? And this where this HIV is spread. Or extramarital affairs. The reason why it's increasing because of sex. This only be transmitted through sexual activities. So if it's increased 260%, it tells us there is a lot of sexual activities. Remember that topic you said, even in primary school, they want to practice. They want to practice sex. See? Kind of topic. As we work together, the church leaders, the village leaders, we need to call a meeting and we sit together. Because through discussion, made aware of what's going on. We should not hide it. It's not something happen because it's a problem. Imagine if one young woman, a young girl, a teenage, 1,000, it's okay. Pregnancy, this is unwanted pregnancy. 1,000, it's okay girls, and only 100 Indian girls. You see the difference. So it shows us that there's a lot of uneducated in sexual relationship.
We lack the awareness.
The awareness. Yeah. Because how we don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to create that awareness in schools and also in the church. It's awkward, but I believe if we really love our children and love our families, we need to, there's certain things that we need to break that taboo and talk about these things. Young men that are today, always remember, sometimes it may be fun, when you're in school, you may come, okay, I'm going out with that one, or they like you counted another girls hitting at one time. And maybe it becomes, the in thing to do. But if you can get transmitted disease, forget about, like you wouldn't even be bothered to even feel responsible if you make one of them responsible enough to be having more than one partner. So you won't be responsible if something happened through that sexual intercourse that you have. But when you get that disease, always remember HIV will never go away. You'll need to live with it and maintain it. There's no cure. Yeah. And also, wrong place and have sex with the wrong person, it can lead to AIDS. And AIDS, that's just death. And the sharing from the beginning talked about a beautiful young couple. I believe they were not married. They were just girlfriend and boyfriend. That they died, just looking at each other right towards the end days of their life, because they both suffer from AIDS. In fact, right, this young man, got that AIDS and spread it, got the girl, affected, and he took their lives. So how many more lives out there that can be saved and you live right? Maybe it's really difficult to talk about living right now because of the exposure, the rights of every individual that you can punishment. Like in the days like where I live, or when I live, or when in our days, we still get those corporal punishment. You still get a smacking, a good smacking.
Which is good.
And
Good.
a good smacking, and then before you do something like you have your rights. You don't even get smacked, and you say to yourself, "Oh, never mind. I'll go. My mother will just talk to me, or my father will just talk to me, and that's it." Like it may be your right, but it's sort of create another totally new problem again because it's in display. And so, as and when you have your whatever that you do, if you're a young man, or if you're still in school, or if you're single, even for a young woman, look at yourself and have pride in your body. And you say to yourself that you are created and made, not just to be shared by man or any man, but you are uniquely created and adored and brought up in such a way that the plans for your life is far greater than just giving yourself around to any man who wants to have sex for different reasons. Some of you may be going out to sex because you get paid for it. Money, you talk about because you can afford your life. I do this because I cannot afford my life. I need to, bring food home. I need to pay. I needed money. So I would like to tell you there are other avenues that you can do to funds or home to your family, other than you going out that way, because you will never determine or predetermine what can happen if you come with that kind of disease, and the very children that you're trying to work for to bring food home, you will be leaving behind for somebody else to look after, and it takes your life. So these diseases doesn't choose who to go to. These diseases are there. And the kind of relationship that you're involved in. And if you know that you are single, I'll stick to one partner. Stick to one. And if you know that it doesn't work out, be the respectable person you are and tell the person it's not working out a relationship, then you do it in a way, have a good closure, and you move on. But don't play around with people's feelings or play around with people's lives, because that's like a karma. One day it will come to you. Yeah. You may not get it today, you may get away with it, and now one day it will come back to you. I guarantee you that. I've seen cases, and sometimes it can be a very, very lonely life when that happens to you. And for those of you that are married, be content with your family. Be content with your wife. Or maybe like you look for something exotic or something that is beyond, because you watch a lot of pornography. Looking for the very thing that you are watching, you want to go and practice it with somebody, and your wife is not a willing partner, or your husband is not a willing partner. I'm talking about pornography. Pornography also, either way around. Like there's no demarcation of who's watching what, but everybody is seems to be doing something that's, oriented. So when you watch these things and you can't do it with your spouse, that's why you go looking out for you. And when that happened, out of your lust for you just to, go out and satisfy, if you're not careful, you'll bring back HIV or you'll bring back AIDS to the very family that you love. Maybe to you it's a one-night stand, but it can. So these are the things that you must be, aware of, that the repercussion of your action today, it goes a long way. It goes. And like what you said, like now it's common. It's like before it's man, do you know that family? Boy, I really feel sorry for that family. Like this to be something big. One, or if somebody gets children, or this is an extramarital affair.
Because what is happening now, the world, the people are accepting.
Yeah.
They are accepting, they are changing their tone. What is right to the world?
Like the moral values have lost its value, or it's decayed.
Yeah.
It's decay moral.
Yeah.
Like the values that you used to have, now it's no longer there.
Yeah.
Because when you have that moral, you will be conscious of what you do. Now it's no longer there. There's no more moral.
And
to be before.
That conviction only come when you are spiritually matured.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you are spiritually matured, will hit you, will guide you along, for you to do a right thing or live right. Live right.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yes.
People love when things are not right.
Yeah.
That's why
They live their own
sharing.
rights. They're not living right. They think that's right. They live.
As I said before, what is normally wrong, now
Yeah.
it's right.
Yeah.
What is normally right,
Now
now
it's
it's wrong. Yeah. They have a girlfriend or boyfriend, even year to year, 12 and 13.
It's weird.
Something is wrong. Yeah. Because the world is turned in that is attacking family and is attacking our moral value. So the quality much now. Yeah. And that's why people, we can have position in the society, position at our work. But when it comes to sexual relationship, we are nowhere near our position that we hold.
Yeah.
We are not worthy of the position that we are holding,
Yeah.
because in our background is totally a mess.
I mean, you're talking about something that not only just affects it affects pastors as well.
Yeah.
And senior pastors that actually know these values that are biblical and they preach it, but yet that's how dangerous. Yeah. If you're not careful, regardless whether you preach the word, whether you're so spiritual, but these same factors affect everybody. They are raping, they are in prison. So the issue that we're talking about today, it's no respect of any person to say from that person, pastor, or no, stay away from Dini. No, it doesn't do that. It comes in and it's there. It depends on the individual. It's not a position. It's not who you are. It's not your status. It's a
Yeah. From the church pulpit right
Yeah.
to organization,
Yeah.
government, and also
to the
traditional values.
street dwellers.
Yeah. Even the street is chaotic at the moment. But I'm talking about the people in authority, the people that we look up to, that we respect. Yeah? Lili Niabusa, Lili Matagali, Taltala, to parliamentarian, doctors, nurse, all these things, they are all the same when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
So, as you said, respect no person, respect no position.
Yeah.
That's why we must be on our toes.
Yeah.
And
they
they
say-
thrive. They
Yeah.
thrive when we don't talk about it.
Yes.
As before, most women that are on the street, why they are on the street? Because there's a
same
client.
customer.
Because the client will come along.
And pay big money
He will not stand on the street
if there is
if
no,
there is
the
no
business
client.
is not there.
Yeah. So, and the people that will come, I was talking 3 years ago. This is what he said. Taltala. Ni kimang doli bital mo matakir na marama birra mo nila mo. Meragay tuko na esona itutur waga lo binaka raba mataw mo binaka to come to that level, because you were saying that meet at home
Yeah, the
with
thing-
spouse. Pornography is a problem. Is to have some restriction on pornography, and
Yeah.
especially the website talking about that you can do. If they have some control in the intelligence area, like in China, like in Israel,
Yeah.
they stop. If the government can have something just to help our people,
Yes.
because we were in one this Taltala that is one of the top 5 in pornography. I think you're number 4 world today.
Really?
Yeah. So to help our people, we can put some restriction. We will not. At least we can reduce,
Yeah.
and we can tell the generation to come that watching pornography is wrong,
Yeah.
is immoral, it's filthy,
Yeah.
it's not something that to be entertained or allow our people to access to.
Yeah.
the pornography, the social activities that are becoming very common that leads to this and drunkenness. All sorts of drunkenness. Now we have the drugs and the marijuana, and you can dangerously. Not so much on the sex, not so much. The alcohol is the sex. The drugs, it makes you do like
violent. Very
like
aggressive.
you do like a stuntman. You do the So that's
Because
why
you are high. Like you want to do things.
You are no longer. You are in like your dream. Don't need to tribudala. You think that you are in the cloud when you're just sitting there. You think that you can jump. You just jump from the house. You jump from a house, a 4-story, 5-story.
Superman.
And you see there's a there. Concrete there. So drugs is affecting our brain now. But alcohol, I'm talking about a driving factor that causes a lot of rape, committing adultery, and things that you don't normally do. This is affecting your brain. You're smart in mathematics and in English, you're smart in everything. But as soon as you get drunk, you are
mind, to be able to do the right thing. And I know we're speaking at lunch a lot, and now with the young men or women at the age of 18, they are considered as adults, that they can drink. And even then, like they are being exposed earlier to this life. Some drink and they just get knocked out, but some they drink and everything that they watch in the pornography, it becomes a reality. So with different state of mind, they go looking to do these things because it's the only time that they can do, because they're not themselves. I believe most of these people who does these things or even rape, that remorse for them to even think after normal and to look at what they did. I believe at one point of their life they would say to themselves, how did I ever do that? How can I even look at myself again after I've done it? Maybe some of them would come to their realization because they had a totally different substance that was controlling them or pushing them to be doing the things that they've done. We've given out tips for you young men and young women. Even if you're in school, look after yourself. Don't just easily give up yourself. Spoken on this, usually I share this on our youth conference, that even though you love that person or you love that boy or you love that girl, between you. And if that young man or young boy continuously persist and push you to have sex, you don't need to. And sometimes because you want to lose them, you give in. And if you're not careful, either you get pregnant and you're left behind, and he moves on with somebody else. So it's not worth spoiling your future for. It's not worth giving up your whole lifetime just because you want to hold back somebody or you want to prove to them that you love them. No. Sex is not supposed to be used as a sign or as something that you love them. No. Yeah. If a person really loves you and respects you, he will leave you alone. And he will. This beautiful friend of mine who lives in America, and when her daughter got married, I think it was last 2 years, she shared her story that her daughter was in this relationship with her husband. They hold very good jobs here in Suva, and they were courting for 14 years. And when they got married after 14 years, they did all the tradition that is being bring her virginity to her marriage. And for me, that was, like hearing that in this time, boy, that's uncomfortable. Even hear that. And I told her, boy, you must be very proud of your daughter. And not only that, because I was looking at her daughter, and then the young man was so respectable enough to respect the decision that she had made for 14 years. 14 years, that's a long time. Respect that young girl and wait until the day that they got married. I take my head off that man or that young man. So how many young men, maybe 1 in a million like that? Or how many young women who are strong enough to say no and keep themselves, trying to say is the ethic in it, that you are not supposed just to be giving yourself up. They may call you, oh, she's a weirdo. She doesn't go clubbing. She doesn't drink. She doesn't in school. And but the thing is, when they go out clubbing, they don't go out or come back. Sorry. And they're sitting there, and you'll be listening in today, some of you, and talking about the things that they've done from clubs until Saturday, and this is Monday. It's like, like come in, catch up on the stories. And I'll be sitting there listening to the stories. And they'll be having their good laugh and all. And after that, then they will say, right, you don't miss it. I said, miss what? Like our stories, boy, it's fun. Your life was so boring. But never a moment as I listen in for me to say to myself, boy, I would like to do this. No, I fit in with them in school, my friends in school. I listen to them, but I don't take myself to do the things that they do. I kept myself. So what I'm trying to do, it's okay for you to be called a weirdo. Okay, they're
out of date.
Yeah. Boom, boom.
Church girl. There are a lot of names.
A lot of names they call you.
They call you.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
They can call you the names that they want to call you, but they're not integrity. They're not going to take away, your life. They're not going to take away the class of your life that you have desired for yourself. They're not going to take yourself. You own it. And for young women that are listening today, if you are still in school, please stand up and say to yourself, I'm not going to be defined by the boy who wants to have a relationship with me. I'm going to be strong enough to determine what I need and what I want and the future that God has for me. All of us. He created us with a purpose. And that purpose is for you, to benefit and for you to have a good life. Not for you to be abused and used an animal, whoever is willing and free, you give yourself up to. No. And not, he didn't create you just to come and just be somebody. Be the bus stop for everybody. No, you're not. You are more special than that. And if you're listening, too late to make a mess in your life. Stand up today and say, okay, I have enough of this life. I think I've given enough of my body. I've given enough. I think I'll move on in a different direction. You may struggle, but look for the right people. Look for the right counsel to help you through. Because somebody's out there. And also as marriage, to you young people, as marriage, married couple. For married couple, sometimes when you've been married for, like we celebrated last week, on the 1st of November, we celebrated our 39 years of being married. Yeah, it may sound boring because it's like an age of a person. I used to have a staff in the office. Every time it's on my anniversary, she'll pop in through the door and she'll say, CEO, every time I just want to come and remind you, that's my age. And she'll tell me the age or the anniversary years of my life, it's actually her. And to think, looking at her and I said, okay, that's how long our marriage has been. Not perfect, but what really made that work, I believe, for our marriage is the trust. Yeah. The trust. Important. Not only the trust. When you have your family and you have your children and you both work or you're exposed to different circle of friends, if you're beginning to love things that are replacing the love that you once had. So you are beginning to love the company of your friends other than the company of your husband, of your wife. You're beginning to love the atmosphere outside of your house other than being in a house surrounded by your reality of your children and your husband or your children. So we are drifting apart without knowing that we are drifting apart. And you're creating bricks and block in between you. So you individuals living in the house try to make it work for the benefit of the children, or to the community, or to your families to show that you are still together. But rightfully, anything to do with marriage, you become, like you're just saying for the sake of staying, for your own reasons.
The two, they are no longer a bond. They are no longer
a husband and wife.
Yeah, the relationship is no longer there.
Like you're staying because you have a duty to play or a role to play. So with those kind of relationship, and also when you go to emphasize in a church, as I take the topic on our family, I'm always reminding the man and the woman. Like if you go, have your family car, and you're taking it to the office, or you're working with women or working with men, either opposite sex, go for you to draw the line. The relationship within the office. Sometimes you are very close to the opposite sex in the office, and you're far out. You share nearly everything with your opposite sex in the office. And when you're not careful, I'm talking to us women, when we are not careful, because our number, when we continuously speak to the same opposite sex coming in, because of a bad day maybe you have at home, or maybe you're just so stressed out to be the person that comes in and out of your office for work, but you don't realize that you keep on, like feeling and talking, and without you knowing, that connection is already there. So when you are in the wrong place at the wrong time, or maybe you have now, when you have your office party, you have your office, like you go somewhere for a retreat or a staff picnic day, wrong is already there that can spark off anything. It can be just a one-night stand. It can be like the curiosity out. And when you do, it brings damage to your family. It can break up your family. It can break up your marriage. And it hurt more people. And then the repercussion of it is more than what you have planned or anticipated from the beginning that it could have happened. So those are the things that you need to think about. You're not just a father and a mother at home. You take that with you wherever you go. When you're in the office, you remember that you're a father. You remember that you're a husband. And you remember that you are also the mother. Because when you have these two roles in your mind all the time, you will be more conscious in the way that you carry your life and the kind of conversation you have with any other opposite sex that comes to the office. When you take these two out, then you become the young girl. Your kind of talk, casual talk, when the talks, and all those things, because there's no connection to anybody. You are responsibility, and you are desiring this one spur of the moment kind of thing, and for your own reason, that can be so destructible to your family. So when you're listening to us today, these things that happen later, the sexually transmitted disease, the extramarital affair, come in and say, okay, I would like to have an affair with you. No one will ever come to you and say, I would like to have an affair with you. It takes all these little that are working in the relationship, and also the other factors that are contributing, maybe not in the office, maybe for those of you, maybe through your Facebook page. I'm not in the Facebook. I'm not in any of the social media. I'm an old scholar. So Facebook, or somebody saying hello to you on the Facebook, and then you become engrossed in it, and without you knowing, you are conditionally to this person that you've been talking to on the Facebook. And it doesn't necessarily mean for you to physically see them in the office like what I'm doing, but it can be right there on your hand when everybody else have gone to work, gone to school. You have to be careful of what you go through in your phone. Because I think it was 5 years ago or 6 years ago, we were in England, and we came to London to visit this couple. A beautiful young girl, very beautiful young girl. They have 2 beautiful children. We were actually taken to this family by one of our church members that they want us to go and visit. We came in, moments, prayers, talks, and when we left, the lady who had actually requested for us to visit this couple and said, you know, they look like a very beautiful couple, a beautiful family. I said, what happened? According to the story, when she was sharing, she said the wife doesn't work. She stays home with the two. The guy is a British Army, and they live in London. And there's this girl that he was involved in. Every time as she goes to bed, when the wife goes, he's always sitting in front of the computer in their study room. And one of those moments, or one of those nights, without offing the computer, when she came down the next morning, and she watched that they were actually having sex using the phone, you know? And to this day, they are no longer together. They went their separate. And he was having that affair through Facebook with a young girl all the way in Fiji. And that young girl came across and moved on. While with the two children, I don't know the story now because that was years back. I'm just bringing it here because those are the things that is happening. It's not just happening now, it has been happening, but no one has been highlighting or even talking about it. But I want to talk about it. We want to talk about it because it can benefit today. For you, it can be, I'm just, you know, like somebody will come or your wife will come or your husband will come. Hey, I saw your post on the Facebook to that. No, it's just a Facebook, it's just a comment, you know, like you react. I'm just saying hello. No, there's something happening. I don't even know him. Does it hurt for me to say hello? Yeah.